just to explain why I'm on stage, I'm not going to be singing, but I wanted us to get an idea of how we conceptualize the program and view this concert as a journey. So COVID-19 was a challenging time for many people worldwide, and we continue to experience the pain it brought us. Whether you were lucky not to get the virus or unlucky to get it, we all felt the pain the moment it affected those close to us. Some have transitioned into to a spiritual place for us, which is beyond our physical world. This is a very important point that is carried out throughout the whole concert. For many people, the difference between the physical and the spiritual world is a matter of past and present time. Interestingly enough, in many African cultures, this perception of time difference does not exist, as we firmly believe that where we are and wherever we are throughout our journey, we are always with our ancestors. So as we listen to this program of diverse musical worlds dedicated to the journey of healing, it allows us to invite you to walk through this journey with us. While my colleagues will present this musical journey with us, I will be your guide for as we move along from one sound world to another. Our program is divided into two parts. First, we will present a guided concert that also is divided into two parts, which is a classical section, and then the middle part of that is a kind of like a crossover genre, and then lastly, actually, it focuses on jazz. Then the second part of our talk, if we do have time, is to open up question and answers for the audience to engage with the musicians, particularly who had to go through different sort of sound world and the changes that actually allowed or they had to make to be able to make that possible. So our first piece of the concert comes from the South African composer called Enisela Sibisi. It is called Yezwa Ukukhala Kwami, which means hear my prayer. A musical prayer pleads to God to see, feel, and help heal the pain.
Oh
following two compositions come from another South African composer who left us in 2020 during the prime moment of the COVID pandemic. His name is Pelelani Nomia, also from KwaZulu-Natal. The first of these two pieces is called Ngenani, which means please come in. You are welcome. It was written in 2010 as part of the joy of welcoming the world to our home. The work has some exciting moments of the type of speech mapping we saw in some of the works by Khumalo, though he also exhibits his love for operatic voice. The second piece, or the second song from Nomia, comes from his opera called Esther. The name of the piece is called Mangihambe Naye. It is a beautiful aria for soprano that takes to different influences, which includes gospel, baroque style, and moments deeply rooted in isiZulu as half-spoken and half-sung approach, used in many other genres such as the praise songs. It is a complex piece that shifts the use and the character of the voice, adding to the beautiful drama of the work.
Izimbali zakhe kanzansi, nase
From the sun's landscapes of KwaZulu-Natal, we go to the beautiful mountains of Eastern Cape, where our following composer comes from. His name is Sbusiso Ndeza, who just by coincidence happens to be also my master's student. But that is, he has written several operas, including one called Madiba. And as we all know, that's a clan name for our former president, which is deeply rooted in the culture of AmaXhosa people. That's the music, right? Much like other Nguni cultures, the idea of music making is not often viewed as separate from poetry or body movement. This kind of thinking also influences how composers approach composition. You will hear moments strongly influenced with the AmaXhosa dance practice called ukutenza. During the piece, the song's title is Usana Olumakhaliyo Lufela Empelekweni, which can be loosely translated to, if you don't ask for help, you suffocate in your own silence. It encourages us to stop viewing vulnerability as a weakness, but as part of humanity, as much as it is part of humanity to help those needing our help and support.
Oh,
The next piece comes from my former student, Benjamin Deva. I'm telling you, seriously, it was not a plan, and it was not involved in the programming. It just happens that two of the composers are former and current student of mine. The piece comes from a group of songs inspired by a cycle of poems called Broken Self. This particular movement is called Into a Dark Despair. The composer was reacting on the traumatic experience he faced seeing one of his relatives going through depression, a mental illness and sickness that is and continues to affect many people, particularly was so during the COVID. It is also an illness that is hugely stigmatized and yet actually affects all levels of our society. To express his feelings and his point of, at times, helplessness on how to support and help his relative, he felt the best way to do this was to write a piece that actually is not using text. So we will not be hearing any text in this next composition. It will be followed by an arrangement that I wrote many years ago when I was in New York. It's based on the South African song. Some people say it's a folk song. Tulam Tona, Tulam Mama. Yeah. The arrangement, which I did many years ago, was performed at a Lincoln Center in New York, was structured in such a way that though one was so far away from home, and at times that brought moments of longing, it also brought up the memories of joy we associated with home. And so the arrangement shifts from this sort of mournful start into a section that is heavily African-centered rhythmic groove, and which is typical not of just any African country, but it's typical of South Africa. So, and it cuts across genres. You hear this groove in traditional music, you hear this groove in jazz, which is why, of course, we call South African jazz Bakana, right? Because it uses actually some of these aspects. So this moment was a way of celebrating home as opposed to mourning home. this event, and we're going to listen to two jazz pieces. One of them is coming from Khumalo, while the second one is coming from Abdullah Ibrahim, whom I think most of you as cartoonists know so well. Khumalo says the following about a composition called Mercy and Grace. Expressing gratitude is important to me. It allows for a sense of locatedness and awareness in every moment. It is an energy radiating peace and calmness, allowing one to appreciate life, people, and situations. The last piece of the concert is dedicated by the great Abdullah Ibrahim to his firstborn son, and it's called Zakwan.
then when